everybody, this is Anne. You've probably seen a lot of other videos using shaving cream in conjunction with underglazes. I thought we'd put a little twist on that by combining the process with other pottery decorating techniques. First, I thought I would let the randomness of the shaving cream staining dictate what direction to take next. I started by throwing this porcelain cylinder on the pottery wheel. I bisque fired it to cone 04. I used painter's tape to close up the top and protect the bottom of the piece. Next, I decided to add border lines around the rim and the foot. To mask these areas, I used electrical tape along those lines right up to the painter's tape, locking that down securely. Then I prepared the underglaze colors. I started with a brilliant red, intense yellow, and baby blue. I mixed these colors into several shades of greens and purples. To protect my work surface, I rolled out a sheet of wax paper and laid it down. Now, any thick shaving cream will work for this technique. I used Barbasol. I applied it in a rectangular shape around 6 inches across and 3 to 4 inches wide. I then took a long wooden rib that I had and flattened out the surface. Now I could pour the underglazes randomly on the surface. In this case, I decided to work from dark to light colors for fear the lighter colors would have muddied up on the bottom. Don't be afraid to let the colors overlap. Next, I took a bamboo stick and swirled the colors like this. I made sure to pull the colors around all the way to the top and the bottom. When the colors looked like they were starting to mix or muddy up, I pulled the bamboo stick out. Now I rolled the cylinder from one end of the cream to the other, like this, making sure the entire cup was covered. I took the cup outside and sprayed off the shaving cream. Now here's what I came up with. Now that's cool. I love that. I thought it looked like a water scene, which led me to decide what technique to add to that. I hand drew some cattails and some grasses over a strategic area. I then decided to lift the colors from the area I just drew with a damp sponge. Much of the color lifted off easily except the dark blues. But that's not really a big deal. It doesn't really need to be totally clear. I mixed a warm light brown color and brushed that over the cattails. I added other details to the cattails and grasses along with the black border lines. A lot of people ask me about my painting techniques. If you'd like to learn more about these, check the link above. The random design from the shaving cream inspired me to paint other watery details on this piece to create this little cute scene. On this next piece, again I threw the cylinder on the wheel and let it dry. This time, I drew and outlined these poppy flowers while in the greenware stage, then bisque fired it to cone 04. I then brushed wax resist over all the painted flower outlines, including the leaves and the stems, and let that dry. Like the last piece, I taped the bottom and the top areas to mask them off. What I'm hoping is that the shaving cream technique will add a landscape background behind the flowers. I repeated the same steps as the first cylinder. This time, I tried to use the colors that reminded me of a poppy-covered meadow on top of the shaving cream. I then swirled the colors and rolled the cylinder. Looking back, I think I pressed the piece too deep into the shaving cream instead of just letting it skim along the surface, but let's see how it goes. I rinsed off the shaving cream and had a bit of a bald spot. I decided to try and re-roll that area over some of the underglaze. Oh, that's better. Now for the reveal. I didn't get as much of the subtle color striations for the background meadow as I wanted, but I love the bold, colorful appearance around the stark outlines. Now I could have left it like that, but I decided instead to run it with another bisque load to melt off the wax, then add color to the flower outlines for this stunning piece. Very dramatic. Now here's another variation where I left the outlines without color. Which do you like better? I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment for me below. For the last piece, I threw the cylinder on the wheel. Then when it was dry, I painted these fully colored poppies on the surface and bisque fired them onto the surface along with a border line only at the top. Like the other two, I taped the top and the bottom to mask them off. I also wanted to mask off the poppies. I tore the painter's tape so the edges were a bit jagged. I adhered them to the surface so that they covered the flowers and the jagged edges became the horizon for a landscape. I then used the electrical tape to make sure the top covering tape would not come off, and I masked the remaining areas as well. I rolled the piece over the shaving cream, this time skimming the piece over the surface to try and get more of those subtle color striations. I can't wait to see this one. Looking good so far. I really wanted more of a watercolor appearance. And when I took the tape off, yes, I'm very happy with that. It really does look like a landscape behind the poppies. So all I had to do was apply a stiff white glaze on the white areas and the inside, and a green glaze to the border for this stunning piece. I invite you to experiment as well and share pictures to the Pottery Studio Facebook group. I'd love to see them. If you liked our video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We would also like to give a shout out to these generous folks who are supporting our channel through Buy Me a Coffee. If you'd like to support our channel, check out the link in the description or hit the Super Thanks button on our channel page. We really appreciate all your support. See you next time in the studio.